I really don't. I take Manjaro. Good morning, Stroud 23. I take Manjaro, and I actually went up a dosage recently, and so I've just been tired. Just simply good old fashioned tired. Um, I've just been tired. If I'm being honest, I'm tired. Good morning, Miss Linda. How are you doing? But I'm not gonna let being tired keep me from stepping into what I need to do. And I'm gonna give you some strategies if you are also are like me, and maybe you're just feeling a little tired. Finish setting up on YouTube. Miss Linda, how you doing this morning? Glad to have you. Glad to have you this morning. Hopefully you're doing swell. You got animal control? No, I did, but they don't open till 10. Good morning. Good morning, Kelly. Good morning. Oh, I'm glad to see you guys here as well. Yeah, I'm tired. I'm not gonna lie. Your girl, I'm tired. I am like I did color me calm. Good morning, Miss Patricia. Glad to see you this morning. Like if I'm honest, your girl is tired. I is tired, boss. Good morning, Toya. Glad to have you here this morning. Um, yeah, I'm physically tired. I'm emotionally tired. I'm tired. And that's just the truth. But I'm here. So we're gonna get this walk done because it's necessary for my overall health and wellness. It might even give me some of those good quality endorphins by the end and give me the little boost I need to keep going. Good morning, plentiful goose. So I'm gonna walk anyway. I'm not sick and I'm not so tired that I don't feel like I can't walk, but I'm just tired. Those of you that are new to the call, you know, I'm sorry, those of you that are not new to the call, you know that I take Manjaro. It is a GLP-1 medication and it helps me keep my blood sugars under control. And um, I like it. It's a good medication. Recently, I just went up a dose. And so I think some of this is like a side effect of the medication. I think so. I need to work through it. I might even go back down if I cannot, handle these side effects. Because I'm really, really tired, like sleepy. Doesn't make you drowsy, but I'm just tired, right? But I'm gonna show up anyway because I've got goals to reach. I want to keep my blood sugar low. I want to continue to make healthier steps towards my dreams, and I got to do that one step at a time. So, I'm not going to give up today. Maybe I'll go a little slower than I typically go, but 20 to 30 minutes is something I feel reasonable that I can do. Okay. So if you're sensing I don't have as much pep in my step as I normally do, I don't, but I'm gonna show up anyway. Monday we talked about doubling down. So this is my way of doubling down on something I can do that's reasonable without going overboard. All right. Miss Toya, how you doing this morning? Good morning. Good morning. Uh-oh. I lost my feet. Good morning, Monica. How you doing this morning? Good morning. How are y'all? I did get my water bottle. Hey, came in. I am back to tracking my water intake. I need to set a goal. I think I'm gonna set a goal for 30 ounces a day until I can get back up, until I can get to 60. 60 just feels like a lot for me right now. So then I'm gonna set a goal for 30. Yeah, I need to push through. I've got goals. I'm not so tired that I can't walk for 20 or 30 minutes. Y'all know I work from home. I know many of you work from home or have a sedentary job. And so it's just important because once I sit down, it'll be a while before I get up again. And this is typically the only form of exercise I'm going to get in a day. Good morning, Michelle. Glad to have you. Glad you're here. So I'm going to do it. I'm doubling down on my efforts. Even if that means I got to walk a little slower today, I may not sweat as much today, and that's okay. All right. Monday, we talked about how we've got to choose something to double down on, right? Otherwise, it'll get away from us. We can't reach our goals. Okay, so it's my hope, even though we're not meeting every day, that you're carrying the message with you from day to day so that you are making the progress that you want to see. Okay, that's my hope. That's my big goal. That you guys are carrying that message from day to day, whether we meet or not. All right, because the message still stands. The way this works out in my head, if we meet 3 days a week, then the other 2 days can be that time that you work on the thing. Okay? Because a lot of us say we don't have time. Well, you've got from 7:40 Central to 8:30 because we normally meet. All right? Good morning, Queen Juicy. Good morning, Monica. Glad to have you this morning. All right, so I'm hoping by meeting 3 times a week instead of 5, we can eliminate that excuse because we built some time back into the week. All right, and the results have been good. I've been getting a couple messages, and when we talk on Fridays, several of you have said, yup. I've made progress here. All right, so I think it's working. I hope that you see it as working because we're going into the May and we're going to keep pushing this needle on getting the things done that we need to get done. All right, but this week is a hella busy week. It is Nurses Week. Shout out to all the nurses. And it is the weekend leading into Mother's Day. So I want to talk a little bit about and it's Teacher Appreciation. Well, it's a trifecta. It is a trifecta of a week. And I have a question for you. Because I thought we could take a little bit of time just to honor the teachers and nurses who make a difference every day. All right? Thought I'd take a moment to do that. So, take a minute, and I want you to think about a teacher or a nurse who's made a huge impact on your life. Drop them in the chat if you remember their name, or drop something they did. You can keep it short and brief. Let's talk about it. All right, let's talk about it. Teacher or nurse. Now, for those of you who don't know, my mom was in and out of the hospital growing up at least the first 10 years of my life. And then more recently, my sister was on dialysis from the time she was like 26 to 35. And so I know a lot about what it means to have in and out of the hospital. When she first started dialysis, she was here in Texas. We had my father, myself, my mom, we had convinced her to go ahead and move here because we were here. My father was here. And we were like, we can't help you where you are. Where she was living, she had people. She had people who supported her. She had friends. But if she wanted to lean on us, she had to move here. So she moved here. And within a year of that, Within a year that my dad was diagnosed with cancer, pancreatic cancer, my sister went on dialysis. I feel like he probably died in October. She started dialysis in December. And from then on, if you know anything about what it means to be on dialysis, it's a lot of hospital visits. It's a lot of moments when things are working fine and you just get your treatment 3 times a week. And then there are seasons where you're going to be in and out the hospital. So I'm very familiar with caregiving, hospital life, supporting, because I was not an in-home. My mom did a lot of the in-home caregiving, and I was part of her circle. And I'm just very familiar with the role of nurses and how impactful a great nurse can be. All right, so either a teacher or nurse, drop them in the chat. All right, so Michelle says, I've been blessed to know many great educators. One of them, Miss Dawn Johnson Madden. She made such a positive impact on my life, and I'm grateful to her for it. I love that. Good morning, Crystal. Glad to have you this morning. Toya, have you been homeschool teaching the last 7 years? Is that what you're saying? Good morning, Aboriginal Prince. Mm-hmm. Oh, that's cool. Miss Howard, your French teacher. I love that. What made Miss Howard special? Monica, what made Miss Howard special? Good morning, Crystal. We're just taking a few minutes to talk about teachers or nurses who have made a positive impact. Well, thank you for your service. It is no small feat. Oh, no, you're good. It is no small feat, Toya, to wear both hats and be both mom and teacher. So congrats to you that you've been able to find space. I feel like I did not know that you homeschooled. And girl, you are a busy lady. You are a busy lady. So I'm going to take a beat to just honor the work that you're doing to create well-rounded individuals in your home, but also ensuring that they're having a good quality educational experience. That's a lot of pressure. That ain't for the weak. Good morning, Ty. That ain't for the weak, y'all. All right, so Toya says her 9th grade English teacher made a big impact. Tell us more. What did she do that made all the difference? Monica says she encouraged us to look people in the eye when talking to them, and that's advice that served you well. I love that. Good morning, both anointed and ambitious. I love it. Good morning, too. Oh, well, congratulations. Toya says her first student graduates from this year from high school. That's quite beautiful. Yeah, I didn't know that you homeschooled. That's a lot of work. People sleep on people sleep on that kind of work. It ain't it, because all the weight is on you, right? Yeah. Good morning, lonely stoner. You don't have to be lonely though. So we had, as we were kind of walking this journey with my sister, we had really great nurses. What I learned, my sister did in-home dialysis, which is also, I can go on a whole nother tangent about that, but I won't. But she had in-home nurses. And what I loved about her in-home nurses is that they were very attuned to what her needs were. They didn't, even though, because dialysis is a painful process, and they didn't want to have to exact this kind of pain on her a couple times a week, but they did what was necessary. And like, they treated our whole family like we were the patient. Okay. So my kids were over there. They were part of her nursing community. They made sure to learn about her, what her needs were, where she was in her path and her journey. And even though they were there to give her those dialysis services, they were just as hopeful and prayerful and attuned to the fact that a life-saving kidney would be the best option for her. And I thought that was quite beautiful. This attitude, they had just as much hope that she would receive the life-saving treatment that she needed. And so I always try to take a minute to talk about the nurses. They're really the ones, your doctor's going to know your health plan. They're going to know, good doctor's going to know your history, your past, what they hope they have for you, and I'm never going to take away from that. But there's a level of medical intimacy and medical care that good quality nurses provide, and she just has some great ones. So I want to lift up her in-home dialysis nurses, because she just had the two that really she had several, but the two that she had the longest, they eventually became more like family. Yeah, Crystal says she sees her nurse more than she sees her doctor. Yeah. Have you kind of like doctors? They're at the top of the tree. They're overseeing that bigger picture. Now they're necessary, but the roots, what's grounded, what supports the top of that tree? Nurses. Good quality nurses. So I'm going to take a minute just to lift them up. My nurse was my mommy. Oh, Kelly, that's beautiful. That's beautiful, Kelly. That's beautiful. As far as teachers go, I had a teacher named Miss Pierre. And Miss Pierre saw more in me than what I saw in myself. In high school, she recommended me to become a debutante that year, and she recommended my name. And I remember like shirking her, like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? Like, why? I'm not, I wasn't a cool kid, wasn't a cool kid club. I lived in South Louisiana, so I also wasn't light-skinned. So I just had all of these negative thoughts around like anyone would put my name up. Because you had to be nominated. Okay, and they only nominated so many young ladies in the city. And so I was shocked. And so she turns around and I said, why would you nominate me for this? And she said, why would I not? It's like, girl, basically, in her professional way. And it was the first time in a long time that I felt like a teacher at school saw me and saw way more value than I saw. A great English teacher, learned a lot from her. And I'll never forget it because it was kind of like she unlocked the key inside me. And from then on out, I felt like every table was mine to have if I wanted it. And then I just needed to keep doing the right work and the right people would see it. Yeah, Miss Pierre. So you were Deb? Were you a Delta Deb? Were you AKA Deb? Were you a Zeta Deb? Sigma Gamma Rho Deb? Which Deb were you? Because all of them in my community at that time, AKAs did a ball. and our deltas did the boys. The deltas in the city did the boys. So we had both. I see. Debutante. And Miss Pierre, she just saw more in me than I saw it myself. Y'all keep it coming. Let's keep this conversation going. If there was a teacher or a nurse, maybe you've been in the hospital, you've had family in the hospital, and there's just this nurse that made all the difference in your life, tell me about it. I'd love to hear it. Because I'm going to wrap this up to what we're doing in our business. I'm going to talk about how we're going to connect this back to our business. Because I think there's some things we can learn from both teachers and nurses that can take our businesses to the next level. So keep dropping them in. Some of these folks may not be with us anymore. So it's important that we say their names, that we acknowledge our experiences with them, and that we validate that over the course of our lives, we have had good people engaging with us. All right? But I do have a larger message here. A couple things we can learn from teachers. All right? A couple things we can learn from teachers and nurses that we can apply to our own lives. All right, first, teachers and nurses work within systems and structures. So they can be caring and nurturing while also working within a system. Great teachers and nurses have the ability to do both. All right, good teachers, they don't just show up with a plan and wing it. They have some kind of lesson prepared. We've got to do the same thing in our own businesses. We've got to apply that ability to have some structures and processes and still lead with compassion. Now, compassion, it's actually a leadership strategy. When you decide to go into business, you are deciding to be a leader. Even if you don't feel like you're a leader in all areas of your life. All right? Nurses hold people through very hard moments. They really do. Some of the most devastating, awkward, life-changing moments in a person's life, a nurse is probably playing some role in it. So they have to lead with not just empathy, but compassion. Recently, I was listening to a back doctor, and he was talking about how nurses are some of his, he sees more nurses than anyone else. He sees a lot of nurses. They come in for surgery and treatment because they spent 5, 10, 15, 25 years of their lives literally lifting people up. Do you know what kind of compassion and care you have to essentially allow your body to become weak, to become injured, because you've been lifting up those who are sick or unwell? I'd never thought of it that way. You know how many nurses get knee replacement surgeries, hip replacements, back surgery? Because they spent their lives physically lifting people in and out of beds. What would it look like if you took that same attitude towards your clients, towards the services? You treated it as a physical lift, the full weight of your body supporting the clients you serve. What would be the impact of that? A lot of these folks, they serve in silence. They're in the background and they still keep going. It's a kind of resilience that isn't always loud. So I got 2 questions for you as we think about nurses who've made an impact, teachers that have made a big impact. Are you building with intention or are you running on fumes? Are you giving to everybody else and leaving yourself and your business behind? I'm gonna ask some questions again because I really want you to think about it. Are you building with intention? Or are you running on fumes? I've been running on fumes. I'm about to make some changes. Are you giving everyone else care and just leaving yourself behind? But yeah, I'm gonna quit talking. Give you some time to think about it. Ah, so Crystal said her sixth grade teacher, Miss Murray, pushed her and saw more in me than I saw myself. I love it. She also said she's running on fumes. All right. We celebrate and honor teachers because we recognize that many of them are running on fumes. They're giving to everybody, and there's not always enough room for themselves. So, when you can, as you can, take time to pour into and celebrate teachers and nurses. Okay? Connect with your local hospitals and schools and find ways that you can not only celebrate and honor them. Guys, you can do this right within the context of your business and build and network based on that experience. So if you can tie an authentic pouring into your community, it's actually going to help you and your business and help you to network. Okay. I hope y'all hear what I'm putting down. So if we're running on fumes, teachers and nurses, I'm talking a little bit more directly to you. And then everybody, I've got a few nurses in the room. All right. It's time to the nurses, you're probably doing too much. I've been doing a little too much. I had to prune. I got a project. I love that project so much I can't see straight. I had to push it back to later this year. I've got to finish some of my current commitments and reprioritize before I can address it. And it's just the reality I had to be. I had no choice. I had no choice. A lot of us are doing too much of the wrong thing. And just remember, pruning is not punishment, it's preparation. It's preparation. So you got to figure out what you need to remove. All right. You got to audit your time, your tasks, and your to-do list. I've been doing it this week, and there have been quite a few things I'm spending too much time on. Conversations I'm wasting time with. Phone calls I need to get off of and focus. Let's take a look at what we planted and make sure that it still serves our overall vision. Can you delete it, delegate it, or delay it? All right. Guys, we don't have a time problem. We have a priority problem. We don't have a time problem. We've got a priority problem. Really, really take a close look at what you're doing and start cutting things away. Okay? Miss Linda, it's getting harder and harder to walk at certain, like it's getting, well, not harder. How do I want to say it? Miss Linda, it's getting too easy. I'm having to work much harder. Like I'm concerned. I'm like, am I gonna be up to a dog? Because it's taking, like, I'm really having to get my speed up to kind of get like what I consider like a good quality movement. Really having to But can you delegate? Side note, did you know that you can hire a virtual assistant for less than $400 a month? I've been looking into it. If you can figure out a way to afford it, hire a virtual assistant, hire a VA. You can hire someone in the Philippines, also from the continent of Africa. The rates will be lower, so that you can get more done and more efficiently. So if you can, if it's within your budget, hire somebody. Nobody runs a. Let me just say it like this: nobody is running a successful business alone. Nobody. We keep talking about this solopreneur stuff, but to be honest with you, solopreneurs are either hiring someone eventually, bringing someone in eventually, and you were never built or meant to run an entire business top to bottom 100% alone. It's not happening anywhere. So you've got to either delete some things, delay some things, or delegate. We're talking about the 3 Ds: delete, delay, or delegate. And delegation isn't as expensive as you think it might be. It's not. It might mean you need to eat out a little less. It might mean that a percentage of your profits for right now need to go to paying someone until you can ramp up enough of your business that paying them becomes something easy. All right? We got to quit looking at what we don't have, and we got to decide if we can make better sacrifices to get us where we need to go. So here's your assignment for today. If that person is still with us, if their family is still with us, if they still teach at the school down the street, send them an email. If they're an old mentor, an old coach, send them an email, a card, and just say, hey, I appreciate what you did. I appreciate what your father did, or your mother did, what coach did. We're going to honor those people who poured into us. Okay? Second, I told you Monday to double down, but I also want you to prune. So double down on things that matter, the things you really need to do, get rid of the things you don't. Remember, we're following the 3 Ds: delegate, delay, or delete. All right? That's what I need y'all to do the rest of this week. When we meet Friday, we're going to talk about it. Did you delay anything? Did you look into hiring someone? It's not as expensive as you think. Because just imagine, even if you could only pay them 5 hours, that's 5 hours a week. Good morning, Bree. 5 hours a week that 5 hours a week that you could go and do some other things to move your business forward. All right, so let's see. Monica says she's making some changes so that she can dedicate more time to her business. I'll make an announcement. I love it. Can't wait to hear the announcement. Yeah, Miss Linda, she said, I hear you. Yeah, it's getting serious. I'm like, wait a minute. 2.8 ain't fast enough anymore. Good morning, Bree. Good morning. All right, that's the challenge for today. Okay? Double down on the right things. Double down on the right doggone things. Get rid of what you don't need. And you can either delete it, you can delay it, or you can delegate. All right? And at some point, take a moment to honor a teacher or nurse. I did learn from, I think I learned that from this week. So my rule is don't send like homemade food to hospitals. Don't send homemade food to schools. Personal rule, I don't like it. People have allergies. Yes, it's their choice, but you don't want your good thing to turn to get sour. All right. Most hospitals, schools do too. We don't talk about it enough. But most hospitals do have policies like about giving gifts. So just check with your local hospital if you want to pick a team at a hospital or a nurse or a floor and you want to bless them. Check your hospital's policies. They do have policies. They don't. It's an ethics thing, right? If you give, I don't know, $100 per patient, is it just like, are you paying for better care? It's an ethics thing. So check with your local hospital. There might be a thing that you can do that fits within their ethics. All right, teachers. I know they're going to be getting stuff this week, but don't get it twisted. They're also not supposed to take large gifts. In the district I worked in, it was like nothing over like $50 or something like that. So, also, please don't send wine. Okay? Don't send wine. They still work there. Every now and then, we have a parent to send wine. If you want to do wine or something like that, meet them after school day. Yes, we have a few that would send wine. All right, and again, it is an ethics thing for teachers. So $50 or less if you want to do something like that. And just in general, no, like if you're gonna do food, buy something. No home baked goods. All right. All right, that's it for me today. Tomorrow's Thursday. Talia has a class. Go check out her website, Artfully Melanated Designs. And then this weekend, there will be no Sundays with TRM this weekend. We're going to be celebrating Mother's Day. And we want y'all to celebrate too. The three of us are hardworking women. And we, going at 25, we've been taking way more account for ensuring that where we want to be consistent, we also need to be consistent in getting some rest. Good morning, Anointed Styles Creations. Good morning. And so we're gonna rest, and we want you guys to use that time to reflect. If mom's gone, spend time with aunties, friends, enjoy your children, your siblings. I want you to do that, okay? All right, so Friday, here's the homework. Figure out what you're going to double down on this week. Also, figure out what you're going to delay, delete, or delegate. Consider getting a VA, virtual assistant. Consider it. And then we will be back Friday to celebrate what you did this week. What went well? How did you win? In what ways have you been successful? Let's talk about it. I do want to see you win. I do. I want us to win together. All right. YouTube and TikTok. Y'all know how I do. I will see you guys Friday. Because I don't ever want to leave a hot mic on in my house. Yeah, I don't know what might be said. No hot mic. No hot mic. Yeah.